What is going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today we're going to talk to you about Faraday Future. I want to go over some of the current data points, what's been coming out for Faraday itself, and just my general thoughts on everything that is playing out. Before we get into any of that, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So starting off, Faraday is down 4.81%, 255 the low, 268 the high. 1.62 million shares have been traded within the first 1 hour of the trading day. 9.4 is the average. So you are seeing lower and lower volume. So kind of insinuating that nobody's really paying attention to Faraday. And in reality, the market cares. It can only speculate so far. You need catalysts, and Faraday has dangled, in my opinion, a carrot in front of investors for a very long time. And as my thumbnail even kind of points out, it's the same old tricks. So ultimately, coming from Faraday, the last piece of news that did come out was on October the 3rd, which in general is okay. You could tell that management is trying, but so they obviously were announcing that they're buying the stock, but they only did $35,000 or $36,000. And given that they just gave themselves a very handsome pay increase, that's a big FU to investors. And so I think just the idea was there, just the dollar value is just dismal. And aside from that, this does remind me of what they did in September 2023. Just nothing came to fruition. They never did any purchasing or of any sorts. And in reality, though, at the same time, though, even though they state on this PR that they did, there hasn't been any Form 4's to come out to validate that they did purchase. So yes, right now you are taking this for face value that management did actually buy the stock, but we haven't seen the proof yet. So it's all comes down to trust. I've been stating that time and time again. And in my opinion, for an individual who's been covering the stock for a good 2 years, probably longer than many individuals have been in Faraday, but during Q4 2023, you have had management really trying to pump up this stock. And going back over to a lot of the news, I brought up a lot of this stuff, and this is what really killed my trust with Faraday, is just the fact that they did promise a hell of a lot of things and didn't do jack all. And so essentially they were trying to kind of build shareholder value. They even state that they're going to be moving away from toxic lenders. So a lot of the toxic debt and convertible debt that they're really still focusing on a year later. It's just a very bad scenario. So in my opinion, they're still just doing the same old tricks. And it's almost kind of like a 1-year anniversary of the fact that they do bring up that, hey, we are going to be buying stock and all this other stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised if they start to come out and put out news saying that they're trying to now going to build shareholder value going forward. And so yeah, at this stage in the game, no entities are really looking at buying Faraday for the long term. Probably a lot of these transactions are just for the entities to kind of lend out shares, because that's a pretty big business in among themselves. So anything that does show as a ask is a buy. So when it comes down to Faraday, like I said, I think just my trust in management has been just burned tenfold. And with a lot of these convertible notes that they have, it's the damage. We haven't even seen the damage yet that the dilution is going to cause. And as I brought up, Faraday, the company itself, doesn't care, because what is that? That affects their stock price, but that doesn't affect their day-to-day operations. If they need to dilute, then yeah, that affects them. But like, in reality, the only one that going forward it is going to affect is current shareholders. So any retail, which retail owns the float for the most part of Faraday, so retail is going to get screwed, royally screwed, more than what has already been done. And as I've kind of alluded to in my last couple of videos, it is just probably Q1 2025 that they will be doing another reverse stock split. And for those of you that say, hey Cal, you know what, you're just here to spread FUD, honestly, I don't really care whether you guys are buying or selling. I'm not here to do that. I've been covering Faraday for a very long time, and you can go back before this was even announced. So the whole second reverse stock split on March 1st, I stated that they were going to do another reverse stock split. And even that, when they announced the 1 for 3, I said that's not going to be enough. They're going to be doing another one. And lo and behold, I'm here to state that they're going to be doing a 4th reverse stock split probably in early 2025. And most likely, yeah, again, NASDAQ can technically do nothing if they get shareholder approval, right? The only thing about Faraday, given the circumstances right now, is if any company is over that 1-for-250 ratio, then they're not entitled to any extension. So if Faraday is deficient, then they're going to be immediately kicked off, Form 25. But yeah, they can do a lot of reverse stock splits, and I get it. A lot of people are still very big fans of Faraday, but they haven't given any individuals the warm fuzzy feeling to go out and buy and say, hey, I need to buy Faraday right now. They're going to do something groundbreaking and blah, blah, blah. That's not happening. And if anything, they're probably just thinking about other ideas for PR to really put out to incentivize buying. And yeah, honestly, all in all, this is a lot of people say, oh, don't compare it to other companies. A lot of people on Reddit are comparing it to this company, and basically look at how many they have done reverse stock splits. So when it comes down to Faraday, that is pretty much the future, what to expect for Faraday, unless something does happen. I really did like their pivot for that lower price vehicle, but at this stage in the game, it is just an idea. They don't really have they don't have a concept car, so the R&D associated just to that, looking at, for instance, Lucid and NIO, which are now going to be unveiling a lower price vehicle in the next little bit, like the R&D associated to that is in the like tens of millions. So Faraday, with right now a market cap of, let's just pull it up, 33.43 million, how are they going to get that money? Dilution and more notes, right? So it's just a very, very crappy scenario that I think a lot of investors had the idea that this was going to be the next Tesla or something like that. But all in all, it's a very bad scenario. So let me know your thoughts on Faraday through or text. I'll give you guys a quick update. Does indicate 41.11% of the free float is being shorted, but I do feel that dilution has been kicking off and happening, so that is in theory going to be lowering this number right here. But 5.04 million shares overall are being shorted. Does indicate it's on the threshold list. Cost to borrow average is 47.89, and right now shorts are increasing 368,000 shares. And given that there is only 1.8 million shares being traded, majority of the volume is shorts. So shorts are playing Faraday like a puppet. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on Faraday. Do you think it's going to get better at all? And do you think it's going to be the UAE kind of scenario that saves them? Or what's your guys' thoughts? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And even though Faraday does what it wants sometimes, just take advantage of this promo. It does give you 5 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. So this is a kick-ass deal. Link to this is in the description below and also the comments. With all that, appreciate all of you guys watching.